Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here, predicting the 7-game NBA main slate here on Saturday. A couple things before ending the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS on Draftkings. I'm also running a weekly giveaway on this channel. How it works is all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video as one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment per video. So it starts with my Monday Night Showdown video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week on when I showed a video that I will upload in a few days here. And so however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you're on the giveaway that many times. So say if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you're on the giveaway 10 times. And the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. But with that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So first, let's look back at my lineup here from Friday. So this is what I roll with, kind of the wizard stack like I talked about. So I want Lowry, Beal, RHJ, Boucher, Ibaka, Galloway, OG, and Brandon Ingram. So let's see, I played, 5 Washington guys, right? Yeah. So talked about them in video. There was just so many minutes to go around, right? Fred VanVleet still ended up playing, so that was, a hit to those guards. So, I kind of favorited the bigs here with Ibaka, Boucher, and RHJ. Now, Ibaka crushed it. He was a little bit lower owned. RHJ, you guys know I liked him. Boucher, I did like him a good amount too. He got limited a bit. I thought he would get closer to 20 minutes. They gave Ibaka more run than I thought. So, but yeah, like I said, Boucher was really popular, and he was like mid-price. He didn't kill you. Lowry was pretty solid. I ran it back with Beal because, if I was playing all these Toronto guys, the game, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I'm playing all these guys, I should run it back with someone on the Washington side. So I ran it back with Beal. Galloway, I honestly wasn't super excited about that, but I had like 3.2K remaining. He was like really one of the only options. And then Brandon Ingram, a little bit disappointing, but he's okay. Ended up cashing the tournament, cashing the cash game. So it was a pretty solid night. So let's see if we can keep it going here for Saturday. Okay, so we got 7 games. We have a 2-game early slate that's not on it. So let's talk about the games. Well, we only have 2 actually right now that are out for over-unders and spreads. The Knicks Bucks actually got taken down, but that game there is some definitely blowout risk. Clippers Spurs right now sitting at 223.5 with the Clippers favored by 5.5 points. So let's jump right into it here. We got Towns at the top at 10.6K. He was out for Friday. He was limited in the shoot around, so I think he's getting close to return. So that's something to keep an eye on. If he misses, obviously we can look to Gordy Jang, we can look to Jordan Bell, we can look to Noah Vonleh. Minnesota ran a 12-man rotation tonight, so that's not really good for DFS purposes. But there's a lot of cheap guys. Like Jang is not super expensive. Bell and Noah Vonleh are close to mid price. So again, those guys we can consider if Cat does get ruled out. Drummond at 10.3K had he had an okay night. The game blew out, so he didn't get any fourth quarter run. Right, if he gets that fourth quarter run, he probably gets you over 50 fantasy points. This is the price did come up, but this is one of the better spots here. Going up against that Chicago front court. So I do like Drummond a good amount here at this price, especially if Blake Griffin's out, which I do expect him to be out once again. Embiid as well. You can't get a better spot here. He just had a really good game there against Dallas. And his price is not really moving, right? 10.2K. So I really like Embiid. I really like Drummond. I think you can probably play both if you really wanted to. But those 2 centers, I'm definitely prioritizing. I like both those guys in really, really good spots. Whiteside's been really solid this year. He really has. 8.4K. This is, a decent spot here against Minnesota. I have no issue, right? If you want to save $1,500 off of Drummond and Embiid, I have no issue if you want to go down to Whiteside. He's been really good and he's getting the minutes. So I think he's also a very solid play. And same thing with Capella. I do like a lot of the top centers today. Up-tempo game against Phoenix. The price is it's getting up there at 8K. But the thing with him is he's always going to get close to 40 minutes. So don't mind him. I just don't know if he has as much upside as guys Drummond and Embiid in their respective matchups. Now, DeAndre Ayton, he did not play tonight. It's a back-to-back, so I assume he's going to be out once again. We'll see. If he does get ruled out, we can look to Aaron Baines. We can look to Kaminsky kind of limited Saric, but Wouldn't feel great about that. Let's see. Aldridge has been really consistent recently. 39, 37, 38, 32 minutes, 37, 36, 48, 46 fantasy points. This is not really the best spot, but if the Spurs are going to keep this game close, Aldridge, DeRozan, Jonathan Murray, probably one or two of those guys are going to have a big game. Horford and Tobias, again, it's always my same thing with them. When everyone's healthy, I don't mind if you get there, but I'm not going to go out of my way to play him. It is a really good spot, but I think I would just prefer, getting to Embiid. Let's see, the Knicks guys, and I just don't know if I can target them on this slate. There's definitely some blowout risk. I like targeting those Knicks guys when I know the game's going to stay close. This one, I'm not super confident again, right? And the Bucks have just been blowing out like every single team, so I'm not really confident targeting these Knicks guys. Again, Blake Griffin, I think he's going to be out once again, but that is someone to keep an eye on. If he ends up playing, that's a slight downgrade to Drummond, but either way, I still do like Drummond in a really good spot. Now, Jonas Valanciunas intrigues me here at this price. It's not really moving, and he's played 29, 25, 26, and 30 minutes. So it looks like he's locked into 25, and then on the high end, 30 minutes. And like I said, the price isn't moving. He has the upside. He's a guy that's really productive when he gets the minutes. So you could definitely go there for GPPs. He has 40, even 50 fantasy point upside. So he's someone, I'm definitely looking at as a, guy in the mid tier there. Lauri Markkanen had a good game the last time I got against Washington, almost 50 fantasy points. So it looks like he's stepping up his game. The salary's not moving too much. So I think Lauri Markkanen also very much in play at that salary. Montrezl Harrell always seems like a safe option. We know he's going to get like over 30 minutes in a close game. It's an up-tempo game. So don't have an issue if you want to go there. Carter Jr., was a little bit disappointed when I played him there against Washington, only 30 fantasy points. Don't mind him. I honestly think he's maybe the safer option. He hasn't flashed as much upside, where Lauri Markkanen's been a bit more up and down. Kaminsky, again, he only got, 11 minutes that last game, so I just don't think I can do it right now. Markieff Morris here at 5.5. Got 31 minutes with no Blake. That's perfectly fine. It's just I don't know how much upside he has at this price. Now Bagley does intrigue me a good amount here at this price. 5.4. He played 27 minutes, so he's playing 21, 22, 22. They're really limiting him, and then they kind of unleashed him there for 27 minutes. So if he's going to continue to play, close to 30 minutes, I have a lot of interest. Now the concern is it is a back-to-back, right? So maybe they limit him again. We'll see. Hopefully we get some clarity before locking what his minutes are going to be like. Bobby Portis had a really good game, but again, that game turned into a blowout. So again, he had 51 fantasy points. Wow, that's crazy. He is a guy that is, when he gets those minutes, he's usually pretty productive. So I guess I don't hate that because his game probably will blow out and he, probably will get extended run. So you could take a shot there. I don't think he'll get you 50 again, but I think it's a viable option. Now, Gorgie Jang, again, they ran a 12-man rotation. He still got 24 minutes, so I wouldn't mind going there. But we could also look to, Jordan Bell and Noah Vonleh if Karl-Anthony Towns does miss. Baines here at 4.6K got 26 minutes. I think I'll just prefer him right now to Kaminsky since Kaminsky really got limited at the last game. PJ Tucker is always a safe option at this price. We know he's going to play the big minutes. I think he stands out as a pretty solid play. Brook Lopez at 4.4. Don't hate it. He's been a bit up and down. That salary is a little too cheap in my opinion. Mahimi, they're probably going to need him to guard Embiid, but either way, I think Embiid should just feast in that matchup. I really like Embiid again. I really like Drummond. So Jordan Bell, let's talk about these Minnesota guys. So he got 16 minutes. 3.2K. He's, a guy you could take a dart throw on. Also, Noah Vonleh got, 20 minutes the last game. So they ran a really deep rotation. Not really good for DFS purposes, but you can take shots on these really, really cheap guys again if Karl-Anthony Towns is out. Let's move on to power forward. Giannis is probable. My issue with him is just the potential for a blowout. That's always my concern with Giannis is can the other team keep it close? They're going up against the Knicks, one of the worst teams in the NBA, so I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this game staying close. so I can't do it for cash games. But for GPPs, you could take a shot. He's going to be probably lower owned because everyone's kind of thinking the same thing, right? But I think he is, again, he's viable for GPPs. I will not be going there for cash games. Now, Kawhi Leonard stands out as a pretty solid play here for cash games, 8.5K, revenge game narrative at San Antonio. San Antonio plays at a fast pace. I think Kawhi gets probably 35 or so minutes in a close game. And he's a little bit underpriced. So I do have a good amount of interest here in Kawhi Leonard. I think he stands out as a pretty safe option. Tobias, kind of the same thing with Al Horford. They both had off games tonight, but this is a good matchup. Don't have an issue if you want to go there. I'm just not going to go out of my way to play him when everyone's healthy. See, Bertans, they're really pricing him up now. Again, the concern with him is if he's not shooting the ball well, he can hurt you, right? 3 of 15, only 26 fantasy points. But if he's knocking those shots, he can get you like 40 or so. So he's a riskier option. Don't think I could go there for cash games at that price. See, Oubre with Booker back doesn't stand out as a great play. See, Melo left that game with a knee contusion. My best guess is he's going to be out for this game on Saturday. So that's a boost to a guy like Bazemore, maybe gets a little extra run. Maybe Simons. Anthony Tolliver started for him, but he's a really, really low usage guy. I don't even know if I would still consider him. Let's see, other options. Like Minnesota, they just ran a 12-man rotation. Covington got 23 minutes. It's super hard to predict on these guys. Like the only guy really that got big minutes was Andrew Wiggins. The Washington guys, again, everyone's still out. Rudy's still out. Thomas Bryant's still out. Mo Wagner's still out. They're just super, super thin. That's why I think Embiid you could just crush. Let's see, other options. Honestly, not a whole lot here. Yeah, there really isn't anything I like in that cheap end. So let's move on to small forward. Paul George versus Kawhi. I'm going to lean towards Kawhi here because he's a $1,000 discount. And, again, the revenge game. So I don't have an issue if you want to go Paul George. He's going to be a lot lower owned if you want that pivot in GPPs. But I just think Kawhi Leonard is safer at that price. And I also think Ben Simmons stands out as a pretty solid play. Him and Embiid would be the guys I would try to get into my lineups the most here on the Philly side. Again, one of the best spots. The concern is, there is definitely some blowers in this one as well. But if this game stays close, I think a couple of those starters can definitely have a big game. Again, I'm going to try to prioritize Embiid and then probably Ben Simmons. Wiggins, again, he was the one guy that still got the decent minutes, 37 minutes. You could look to him if Cat's out, right? I don't think he's an amazing play, but he definitely gets a huge boost if Karl-Anthony Towns is out. Let's see, other options. DeRozan's price is coming down to 6.9K, but I still don't even know if I could do it. Just playing alongside DeJounte Murray right now really lowers his usage. Josh Richardson's a guy you can consider, but his price is coming up now to 6K. Again, I would feel more comfortable spending up for Embiid and Ben Simmons. Other options, Stan Aransky at this price. I think he stands out as a pretty solid player right now. 33 and 34 minutes, 35 and 36 fantasy points. He's filling up the stat sheet. This is a good spot here against Detroit. So, yeah, I do have some interest there in Stan Aransky at 5.2. Chris Dunn as well. All the starters getting a decent run. Now, the game against Washington did go to overtime. I know that. But still, either way, these guys are getting over 30 minutes. Sarge, don't mind him here at 5K. You got, 38, 31, 24, 33 minutes. The minutes have been a bit up and down. This is an up-tempo game there. So I think he's someone you definitely can consider in the mid-tier range. Bazemore maybe gets a little extra run if Carmelo's can't go. So I think he's someone that you can consider as a value guy. Ben McLemore, don't mind, but I think I prefer Daniel House for a little bit less. Rudy Gay is intriguing here at this price. Now, I know he got really limited that game against Brooklyn, only 14 minutes, but this is a game where I think they might need his defense to guard either Kawhi or Paul George. So I do have some interest here. Yeah, in the game against the Clippers on 11/29, he played 31 minutes. Now, he didn't do great, right? 16 fantasy points, but at least he got the minutes. So he's someone that does intrigue me a little bit here, 4.2K. It's Greg Popovich, right? The Mets have been all over the place kind of for the secondary San Antonio pieces, but I think he's someone that is definitely viable. Now, Dan Mahal stands out as a really solid value play in my opinion. 34, 27, 35 minutes. He's not a super high usage guy, but at under 4K in an up-tempo game, I think he's a pretty solid value play in my opinion. But that's basically it. So let's move on to shooting guard. So Harden at the top at 11.6 has kind of taken a backseat to Westbrook recently. 59, 53, 51 fantasy points. Not terrible, right? But it's really been Westbrook who's been taking over. I think that is going to lower the ownership in Harden. And a lot of the ownership is going to go to Westbrook because Westbrook is still underpriced. But I wouldn't mind going a contrarian option going Harden here, just because, again, I think he's going to be a lot lower. This is for GPPs. Either way, at this price, I think he's a pretty solid play. And again, up-tempo game. I do have a lot of interest in this game in general. I'll talk about Rubio on the other side, who I really like. But Harden, if you can get to him, if you feel comfortable with value guys in your lineup, I have no issue there. Beal at 8.6K, I like this price a lot for him. The concern is it's a really tough spot and it's a back-to-back. But the thing with him is, again, we know he's going to shoot the ball a ton. We know he's the #1 guy, and in a close game, we know he'll push 40 minutes. So if you're gonna play like a couple of those Philly guys, I think it's smart to probably run it back with Beal, because if you're playing two or more of those guys, then you're expecting this game to stay close, and then again you want to run it back with Beal, kind of like I did tonight with those Toronto guys, right? I played 5 Toronto guys and ran it back with Beal. Booker at 8.3K, I think stands out as a decent option. He's flashed upside games with playing alongside Rubio. And again, I have a lot of interest in this game in general. So Booker at 8.3K, definitely viable as well. Zach LaVine at 7.9K, had a bad shooting night against Washington, still put up 42 fantasy points. The price has come down a little bit to under 8K. And another one of those guys in this price range, 8 to 9K range that I do have a good amount of interest in as well. CJ McCollum, he has been really solid the last 3 games. That game tonight hasn't come up yet, but I think he had another 50 fantasy point game. And this is an up-tempo game. And like I said, the price is not moving. Melo, possibly out. There's more usage to around. So I think CJ also stands out as a pretty solid play. Lou Williams got ejected, really burned me that other night. Price is up now to 6.7K. I don't think he's a great play at that price. DeRozan, I do have some interest in at this price for a GPP option. Revenge game narrative, I guess. If Blake Griffin is out again, he's the #2 in the offense. So he's someone I would consider for GPPs if Blake is out. Pat Beverly at 5.2K, and you can always go there. He's the guy that fills up the stat sheet. Steals, blocks, assists, boards. The price did come up a bit, but I still think he is viable at that price. Let's see, Kennard was ruled out for this game. We'll see what his status is for tomorrow. My best guess is he probably will be out again. So, we can consider those secondary Detroit pieces. Like a Bruce Brown Jr. Wasn't great. I think he got like 25 or so minutes, and then maybe like 20 or so fantasy points. But again, there would be a lot of minutes and usage around if Kennard can't go, or if he cannot go. Let's see. Other options. George Hill, I liked him in the game against the Lakers. Had 27 minutes, 27 fantasy points. I think he stands out as a decent option. I think he gets, probably right around 25 or so minutes. So don't mind him if you want to go there as a value guy. So the San Antonio guys with Patty Mills, Derrick White, I think one of these guys would probably have a decent game. They've been very up and down, right? 17, 39, 6, 34 fantasy points. And then Derrick White has been 27, 9, 28, 31. So both guys have been up and down. But I think these guys are very much in play for GPPs. That's kind of my thoughts, right? These guys there's not a whole lot of great value plays. So both those guys stand out as decent options. Again, both have been a little bit up and down, but the upside is there, and they're pretty cheap. So I don't think they're going to kill you if you take a shot there. Simons maybe is a guy that gets a little bit of extra run. I know he doesn't really play the same position as Melo, but we'll see. So SHABAZZ Napier actually started that last game, got only 20 minutes because again they ran a 12-man rotation. But if he starts again, I would have some interest here at this price. If he gets like 20, maybe even 25, he's a guy that when he gets the minutes, he's normally pretty productive. So I would have some interest here in SHABAZZ Napier if he does start once again. Kobe White, even if you want to really buy low, I'm not a huge Kobe White guy for DFS, but the price is now at 3.6K. So he's a guy, earlier in the season that when he was hot, they would give him like 30 or so minutes. Again, he's been shooting the ball really bad. The minutes are down on him to about 15 to 20. But the thing is, if he is playing well, they will extend him. So that's why I think he's in play for GPPs at that price. I think that is basically it, though. So let's move on to point guard. Again, Harden and Westbrook. I think Westbrook's gonna be a lot more popular. He's just been more consistent recently, and the price is cheaper. So, if you want the discount for Westbrook over Harden, no issue. Again, I think Westbrook's gonna be a lot more popular. If you want the contrarian option, I actually think it's Harden. You can probably play both if you really wanted to. But yeah, I like both these guys in an up-tempo game. Lillard has been solid the last couple of games. This is an up-tempo game as well. The concern is, if Cat can't go, there is some blowout risk. But Lillard, CJ, Whiteside, those big three for Portland do stand out as pretty solid options. I already talked about some of these guys. John Morant, that price, just okay. Ricky Rubio stands out as a really safe play in my opinion. I think he gets, the game against OKC did blow out, so only got 29 minutes. In close games, he will get 35 minutes. This is, again, a really up-tempo game for Phoenix. So I do like Ricky Rubio a good amount. I think, if you're game stacking it, maybe go Rubio and then run it back with either Westbrook or Harden. De'Aaron Fox also intrigues me as well. He came off the bench, only played 24 minutes. Now the game, I think that blew out, so he would have got more run, I think. But, he was on a 30-minutes limit, and now, maybe goes up a little bit. I think he's still going to be at a minutes limit. We'll see. Again, that is something we'll have to monitor going into tomorrow. If he's off the minutes limit, I would really, really like him. If he's still going to be at that 30-minutes limit, I still think he is an option here at 6.6K, because if he gets 30 minutes, I think he can definitely get you there at that price. So that is something we also have to keep an eye on. DeJounte Murray, I really liked him that game against Brooklyn. 27 minutes, 34 fantasy points was perfectly fine. This is, again, a tougher spot, but the price hasn't really moved too much. So I think he's another guy in the mid-range that's definitely viable. Jeff Teague, don't know if I can do it right. It was just such a deep rotation they ran, 12 guys. Other options, again, the Knicks guys, I just can't do it. DiVincenzo, probably not for me. Alfred Payton did start the second half. Now, he only played 18 minutes because the game did blow up. But that is, at least interesting, I guess, because if he starts this game, I think he, even in a blowout, probably gets about 20 or so minutes. So, and he's a guy that is normally pretty productive when he's out there. So, I would have some interest in Alfred Payton if he does start. But, sorry guys, been a long day traveling, but I think that's basically it. So let's recap again. As far as games, if you're game stacking games, what games would be my favorite? I think that Houston Phoenix game really stands out. I think Chicago Detroit's interesting. I think Washington Philly. If you think Washington keep it close, again, you probably play a couple of Philly guys and run it back with Beal. That's probably what I would do if I was going to stack that game. Minnesota Portland interesting as well. Again, we got to see what the status of Cat is. But those big three of Portland with Lillard, CJ, and Whiteside have all been really good. And Melo could be out, so that's could be a boost to guys like Bazemore. Also talk about Hezonja here. Let me go to Portland. I think he's a guy that could get more run as well. Again, I started Anthony Tolliver, but he's a very, very low usage guy. I don't think they've had the stats up for Hezonja yet, but yeah, we'll see who Portland starts if Anthony misses. Again, I would have some interest in who they do start, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts right now on this slate. and a lot of things can change. I'm making this video Friday night, 1:43 a.m. So a lot of things can change, but that's why it's important to follow me on Twitter, guys. That will be in the description below. And then also I will be live streaming probably 45 minutes before lock. So be on the lookout for that. I will be going over all the news that we get throughout the day, as well as answering any questions you guys have. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So thank you guys for all coming to check it out, and I will see you tomorrow in the live stream.